All righty, everybody, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Atlanta News First Alert Desk. I'm Savannah Louie. Happy to have you with us here on this Tuesday here, October 10th, and we're just going to get straight into our top stories for this evening. I want to get you caught up to speed with an event that's happening right now. This is occurring in Sandy Springs. People gathering to stand in solidarity with what's going on in Israel. We have a couple of crews on the ground right now. They are talking with some of the people who are out there expressing their support for Israel. I want to play you a quick soundbite. This is what one of our crews got on the ground earlier this evening, speaking to a person who's out there expressing, again, support for Israel. Take a listen. All right, so again, we have a couple of crews that are out there right now. Tori Cooper and Asia Wilson, I believe those are our two reporters who are out there on the ground right now. They are speaking with a bunch of people, hundreds of people who have shown up in support. We're going to hear more from Asia and Tori later this evening. Hopefully you can join us on Atlanta News First at 10 o'clock and then 11 o'clock as well. And then just to get you caught up to speed, if you're not in tune with what's going on right now over in Israel at the moment, this all really came to fruition on Saturday when the group Hamas launched a surprise assault, firing like thousands of rockets and armed fighters into Israel. At least 900 people died, including a bunch of people who were at a music festival at the time. A lot of innocent people impacted by this. And so the latest today, Israeli warplanes hammering the Gaza Strip today. Again, this was after the major event this weekend. The war has already claimed more than 1,800 lives on both sides. People are expecting it to escalate even worse. Earlier today, President Joe Biden condemning the attacks by Hamas and also reiterating the U.S.'s support for Israel. He also continued to offer aid to the country. This is going to be a major developing story that we're following very closely over the I hate to say it, but, you know, weeks, months, likely, at this point here. So for the latest on what's going on, not only overseas, but of course here at home, because this is impacting people at home here. Continue to stay with us as we follow this pretty devastating and difficult story here. All right, I want to move on to our next story here. This is a follow-up to a story that we first brought you several weeks ago, in which an Atlanta police officer was accused of tasing a deacon, the deacon later dying. Today we're learning that that officer has been fired. There he is. This is Officer Kieran Kimbrough. He was fired after an internal investigation. That's according to Police Chief Darren Shearbaum. In a statement, the department said the officer, quote, violated standard operating procedure when he failed to have a supervisor on the scene prior to proceeding with the physical arrest. Now, you're looking at the attorney for and the family of Johnny Holman. Holman is the man who passed away after he was tased by that officer during a traffic stop. In an investigation and autopsy, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation ruled the death a homicide. I do want to note Holman had a history of underlying conditions, including chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, diabetes, and obesity. That's in the report there. And the autopsy also comes as the Atlanta mayor, Andre Dickens, ordered a full investigation into his death. Now, according to the attorney for this officer, Kimbrough, the attorney says that this officer denies any wrongdoing or policy violations in connection with the investigation. The full statement is on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. If you are interested in checking that out, you can either go to our website or go to our app. We have it all on there. All right, guys, skipping right along here to our third story of the evening. This is a really exciting, positive story we have for you tonight involving the young people in the Atlanta metro area. We always love to see them working hard in school, and we are learning today that Georgia's high school graduation rate has hit a record high. According to the State Department of Education, graduation rate is 84.4% of seniors who graduated on time in the spring. That's slightly up from 84.1% last year. And it's also a record high since Georgia began using calculations that require a student to graduate in 4 years with a regular high school diploma. Now, I want to note that it has gotten easier to graduate in Georgia in the recent years. The state in 2020 eliminated the end of course exams for 4 courses. But still, this is a great accomplishment. And, you know, for an example, Atlanta Public Schools specifically set an all-time high, coming in at 86.6% of students graduating and getting that degree in 4 years. Cobb County, also above the state graduation rate at about 87%. Both Gwinnett and DeKalb schools came in below the state's average, but overall, this is a major accomplishment for the young people in our area. It speaks a lot about our teachers who have been working so hard, and about the parents too, because I know parents, if you're out there, you're watching, you're keeping your kids accountable, and of course, the kids themselves. All right, guys, a couple more stories for you right now. I wanted to mention this. This is very important here. Voter registration deadline is today. If you haven't registered to vote, you got about less than 4 hours here, so get on it before it's too late. If you need to register, it's easy. You can go to georgia.gov/register-vote. There are a number of requirements. You have to be a citizen of the U.S. You have to be a legal resident of the county. You have to be at least 17 and a half years old to register and 18 years old at the age to vote. You cannot be serving a sentence for a conviction or a felony involving a moral turpitude. And you also have to make sure that you have not been found mentally incompetent by a judge. Early voting, by the way, kicks off on October 16th. This is right around the corner. Election day itself, November 7th. Both of those dates going to be here before you know it. So if you have not done your voter registration yet, you'd have seriously just a couple hours here. Get it done. Hop on your phone right now or hop on your laptop. I know if you're watching me, you probably got one of those devices somewhere near you. So just pull it out, get it done quick, and you'll be thanking yourself later. Everybody's voice matters, okay? All right. Final story. I'm excited about this. I hope you are as well. We're talking about Krispy Kreme donuts. Y'all, the shop is back open on Ponce. I got to show you this line. This is the line earlier this morning. Some of these folks were here before the doors opened. They were here the earliest last night, Monday night. Now, and this is why it's such a big deal. You can see here in this video when Krispy Kreme burned down not once but twice over the past couple of years. The store has been closed for about 2 years, but now that light is finally back on, the line is long, people are excited. By the way, in case you're not aware, I feel like this is one of the reasons why people love this Krispy Kreme, but it is owned by Shaquille O'Neal, which is such a fun fact, I think. That's definitely part of the hype for me, personally, other than the hot donuts. But for seriously, a lot of these people who live in the area, they grew up going to this Krispy Kreme, so it has a lot of emotional pull for them as well. Also, last thing I want to mention, if you are showing up this week, Krispy Kreme will randomly give 10 dozen guests a celebration ticket worth a dozen free original glazed donuts every month for a year. How does that sound? I think that sounds pretty good. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I am going to try something new.
You don't have to.
I want to try it. I want to get you on here, Patrick. Patrick's like, can we just pull up my shot already? Give me 2 seconds.
It's
I'm
all
not going to
good.
be able to figure this out. What camera is this? 2?
Yes.
You're on camera 2?
That's my guess, though.
We might have to do this next time.
Yeah, we can do it next time.
Patrick's like, just get out of here.
We can go with the Old Faithful.
Let me talk about the weather. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to send you out with a picture real quick of Marietta Square as I swap places with Patrick Pete. Patrick, I thought today was perfect outside.
Oh, it was fantastic. Most of us enjoyed what we experienced out there. A little chilly this morning for some folks, but as we head into the afternoon, the numbers really kicked it into gear, and we climbed into the 80s for a couple of hours. So definitely winning when it comes to that. I'm switching some things around real quick, and I will have, there we go. There we go. How exactly what I need to talk to you about the forecast, which is going to be going through some changes as we head through the next couple of days. So I hope that you enjoyed getting into the 80s this afternoon, because I don't expect us to get into the 80s for the extended 7-day. Temperatures are going to be a little bit cooler. It's going to be warmer on Saturday, but every other day, upper 70s Saturday. Other than that, I do think that temperatures are going to be trending cooler for a large chunk of the forecast. So let's get you through the forecast for the next 24 hours, which is going to include more clouds building in through the overnight into the day tomorrow. And we do have a rain chance to tell you about. That rain chance is going to be the first time that we see widespread rain across our region in several weeks. I don't expect the most of the rain, the most coverage of the rain to really begin until late evening tomorrow. But some folks could see some showers as early as the late afternoon. That rain chance is going to linger through the start of your Thursday, and then I expect some breaks in the clouds as we head into the second half of the afternoon. That's going to allow for those temperatures to rebound into the low to mid 70s for most of us. And then the weekend drama. Yes, we're all trying to make plans for the weekend, and we have a front that's going to be pushing through on Saturday that's going to bring some rain opportunities. I don't expect the rain to be widespread. We're talking 20 to 30% chance of rain, at least as for now. But the big story is going to be the dip in the numbers that we experience heading into Sunday. We had a Sunday that was chilly this past week, and I'm expecting this Sunday to be chilly as well. Not to mention, those winds are going to be breezy. I know lots of us are actually going out for the Pride Parade. It's going to be airing on Peachtree TV, Atlanta CW, but also we're all going to be out there celebrating and having a good time. And so if you come out there, I'm assuming that you're going to have some sleeves on, because we will, for sure. Let's get you through this rain chance that's coming up. And it's all courtesy of this area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. It's become more disorganized this afternoon and evening than it was earlier today, but it's still going to be a rainmaker, and that moisture is going to lift into the to the north and east, and I do think that the bulk of that rain is going to pass through middle and south Georgia, but we're going to be close enough that we'll get a little bit of rain from this. Not until late day. I'm expecting cloudy skies for the morning. That's going to linger into the afternoon. The clouds and the rain chance is going to keep the numbers a little bit cooler through the day. But that rain starts to move towards the north and east and starts to slide into our area sometime roughly 5, 6 o'clock. And it's only going to increase in coverage as we head through the evening. So I do expect the heaviest and the most of the rain to move in through the overnight, but you'll see some of that for some of your evening plans on Wednesday. So green light, despite there being clouds tomorrow morning for the drive. It's going to be milder. I think it's going to be a manageable enough day to get out and get some of those errands done earlier if you have some things that you need to cross off your list. As we head into the afternoon, that's where we're going to add some of those rain opportunities. So after around 12 o'clock, we'll give you about a 20% chance of seeing a stray shower. The rain will be more isolated earlier in the afternoon than what we expect later in the evening. So unfortunately, if you were planning on stepping out for wind down Wednesday, I do think that you may get yourselves under some showers. The further south and east you are, the better chance you will have to get some of that rain. And that's going to continue into the start of your Thursday morning. So I do expect some spotty showers for the drive to work, but that low is going to pull on off towards the east, and I do expect the bulk of that moisture to be out of the area by lunchtime. I still suspect that we'll have some lingering cloud cover, but expecting the clouds to start to break from the northwest to the southeast. So folks in places like Calhoun, Marietta, Rome, you're going to have more sunshine than folks in Athens and Covington and Jonesboro. So the quicker you get out of the clouds, the warmer you will be. That's why you see those warmer numbers in Calhoun and Rome, because they're going to see some sunshine earlier on in the day, whereas the rest of us will see that sun break late day. Heading into the evening, cooler numbers prevail. We'll dip back into the low 60s and we'll trend into the 50s for some folks as we head into the overnight hours. Big question of rain totals because the grass has been looking a little shaky because we haven't had much rain over the course of the last couple of weeks. And we're talking about roughly a quarter to a half inch across a large chunk of metro Atlanta. The higher totals for sure will be to the south and to the east. So folks in places like LaGrange, McDonough, Eatonton, you could pick up roughly an inch or so of rain depending on how long you're under those showers. We do expect this to be a stratiform rain event. So this is going to be associated with an area of low pressure that has a warm front attached to it. And typically with those type of events, you don't really get the heavier downpours. You just get rain that's continuous over a long period of time. So it's going to be one of those gloomy type of setups. Thankfully, it's in the evening and overnight and into the morning versus just being all day. So if that gives you any idea how this rain event's going to unfold, there you go. Meanwhile, as we extend out the forecast, we're expecting the clouds to break late Thursday afternoon. A spotty shower or two looks possible. Looks like a drizzle, cloudy day type of situation setting up for Friday. That front slides through on Saturday. That brings us that 20 to 30% chance of a shower earlier on. And I do think the second half of Saturday is actually quite dry, but clouds are going to be building back into Sunday. So a mix of sun and clouds on tap for Sunday. I do expect both days of the weekend to be a little breezy, but with the winds coming out of a general south direction on Saturday, that's going to help us get into the upper 70s. But on Sunday, gusty winds out of the northwest is going to add that element of chill. So despite getting to around 65 degrees, I do think we're going to feel several degrees cooler than that. So I think that you can expect to maximum feel like 62, 61-ish through the afternoon because of that wind chill. It's going to feel like the 50s for most of the day. So we're still going to be out there having a good time for the parade. Cooler numbers building in as you head into work next week. That's going to be some of the coolest air we've seen so far this year with those morning temperatures Tuesday in the mid 40s for us here in Atlanta, which means that a lot of these other neighborhoods, you're always a little bit cooler than us because urban heat island, a lot of these other areas outside of the city going to be in the upper 30s. So a cooler start for sure. I'll let you absorb that 7-day forecast, screenshot it, do what you need to do to get your plans together. We're going to have some fresh information coming up for you guys tonight on Atlanta News First, Peachtree TV at 10 and Atlanta News First at 11. Especially on this tropics, we're waiting to see if another area of low pressure develops. We'll have the latest on that. And, of course, on these rain chances for the weekend, we'll have some fresh data to see if we can update you on that timeline. For now, I will wish you a good evening.